name is Naylene Morin, and I'm the Lands Director for the Tahltan Central Government.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Miller, and I'm the Vice President of Environment and Social Responsibility with SnipGold. The title of our talk today is SnipGold and the Tahltan Central Government Collaboration on the Reclamation of the former Johnny Mountain mine site. Naylene and I are presenting on behalf of our team, which includes Kevin Hidber, Jesse Chaplin, Mike Skursky, and Brent Murphy. SnipGold is a Canadian-based resource exploration company with offices in Toronto and Smithers, British Columbia. SnipGold owns a number of exploration projects in Canada and the United States, including the KSM project, our flagship project in Northwest BC, the Courageous Lake project in the Northwest Territories, our newly acquired Three Aces project in the Yukon Territory, and Snowstorm in Nevada. The topic of this presentation, however, is going to be on SnipGold and the Johnny Mountain Mine Reclamation Project. The former Johnny Mountain Mine site is located within BC's Golden Triangle, located in Tahltan Territory. The former Johnny Mountain Mine site was in commercial production from 1988 to 1990 roughly, with a brief reopening in 1993. In 1993, Johnny Mountain ceased operations due to, among other things, low gold prices and high operating costs. You can see a map of the Johnny Mountain mine site here on your right. The SnipGold Corporation was purchased by SnipGold in 2016 and is now a subsidiary of SnipGold. Between 1993 to 2016, SnipGold was previously owned by Skyline Gold and later SnipGold, who held the property in care and maintenance. When SnipGold purchased SnipGold, we reaffirmed the commitment to continue exploration drilling on the main land package, as well as reclaiming the former Johnny Mountain mine site and correcting the historic mining legacy. Overall reclamation objectives at the Johnny Mountain mine site are to show tangible yearly progress on the reclamation and to restore the project to its original pre-mine conditions. This work is completed by the SnipGold technical team working in cooperation and conjunction with the Tahltan Nation. So, a very important aspect of our relationship that I think helped really to drive the successful work that we were able to achieve, not only here with the Johnny Mountain Reclamation Project, but also through our work on other projects that SnipGold has in Tahltan Territory, is the strength of our Tahltan Central Government. So the Tahltan Central Government is the administrative governing body of the Tahltan Nation. It is responsible for the ecosystem and natural resources of Tahltan Territory. It's responsible for managing economic development and for strengthening the cultural wellness of the Tahltan Nation. In 2005, the Tahltan Central Government started a technical advisory body known as the Tahltan Heritage Resources Environmental Assessment Team. And the purpose of this committee was to provide technical support to the nation in having to work through and understand resource development projects like the reclamation project at Johnny Mountain. Tahltan Territory is vast. It's approximately 11% of the province of British Columbia, or 95,900 square kilometers. The population of the Tahltan Nation is approximately 4,000, with 800 people living between the communities of Iskoot, Dease Lake, and Telegraph Creek. The territory is also well known for its vast mineral resources and has a lengthy history of exploration and mineral development activities in the area, starting back thousands of years ago with the Tahltan people who mined obsidian from Mount Isa. There are also well-recorded activities, different gold rushes that occurred in the late 1800s, and different kinds of, or different levels of exploration activity that's occurred basically since that time. I think one of the things to be understood about the Tahltan is that through all of these various stages, there were different levels of participation from the Tahltan Nation to, laboring positions years ago to where we are today, having professional expertise to be able to participate in aspects of the planning activities that occur for a mining project's development and into closure, which is what we're doing now with SnipGold. The Tahltan central government has a number of departments that support their responsibilities to environmental stewardship of Tahltan lands for future generations. These departments include lands, wildlife, fisheries, culture, and heritage. And between the departments have developed a number of tools that provide support and advice, guidance to the Tahltan leadership as they make decisions about resource development. The Tahltan central government is also guided by a number of specific policies that have been generated over the years, including the 1987 Resource Development Policy, which really speaks to a proponent's responsibility towards responsible development on Tahltan lands. The Lands Department works closely with the Tahltan Heritage Resource Environmental Assessment Team and have participated in or were participating with SnipGold through the review of the environmental assessment application for the KSM project in 2014. And through this work, we're able to successfully identify potential impacts to Tahltan rights and interests, as well as to come to agreement on suitable mitigation to address these impacts. A very important tool that the Tahltan have developed and helps to guide the work that we do in our decision making is the Tahltan Ancestral Study. So one of the requirements that we have for projects in our territory is to undertake Tahltan knowledge or Tahltan land use and occupancy studies. This information helps us and also helps the proponents to understand a bit better the relationship that Tahltan people have with the land. And so that when we go to do an assessment of potential impacts, we have the information at hand, and it makes our discussions and the work that needs to be done around mitigation and next steps, it makes that work a little bit more straightforward and easier to understand on both sides of the table. The Tahltan central government, the administrative body for the Tahltan Nation in the protection of Tahltan rights and title, is also supported by other levels of Tahltan government, including the Tahltan Band and the Iskoot Band. The two bands have a responsibility to govern their community's interests in respect of the Indian Act. The nation also has a business arm known as the Tahltan Nation Development Corporation. The business arm of the nation, or TNDC, provides employment, training, and contracting opportunities to Tahltan members and has worked closely with Seabridge on a number of the reclamation activities at the Johnny Mountain Mine.
So now that we've got an introduction to both SnipGold and SnipGold and the Tahltan Nation, let's get into a little bit of what was left at the Johnny Mountain Mine site. So when Seabridge purchased it in 2016, there was a number of infrastructure pieces still on site. And that included a 350 ton per day mill building, 3 underground portals with associated waste rock portal pads, 5 vent raises to provide aeration for the underground portals, a large fuel tank farm, which had 1 large 100,000 gallon tank, as well as 23 tanks that were 7,000 gallons each. In addition to a 1,600 meter airstrip, tailings impoundment, which was about 11.5 hectares, a landfill site, as well as miscellaneous unapproved debris dumps that were found throughout the process. So what did some of the infrastructure look like? Obviously, we knew there were some historical reclamation issues at Johnny Mountain, but the next few slides here are going to give you an idea of what we encountered in 2016 when the project was purchased. And then we're going to go into how both Seabridge Gold and the Tahltan Nation worked to clean up the site. So as you can see here, this is an inside picture of the mill building, which included a lot of debris. There was also the portals and vents that were encountered at site that required cleanup. And here's a picture of the tank farm that required cleanup at the project site, as well as reclamation and in situ hydrocarbon remediation. There was also a landfill and the tailings management site that I discussed, and we'll get into more details on that here shortly.
So a part of our ability to achieve success in our relationship with the Johnny Mountain reclamation was the work that we did or started much earlier on projects like the KSM project. So in 2014, and even prior to 2014, the Tahltan Nation and Seabridge Gold began developing a relationship through exploration and working together on the environmental assessment. We were able to establish processes early on, including processes around consultation and engagement, processes that allowed our technical teams to engage and have deep conversations regarding what were significant or important values at the mine site for Tahltan that needed to be mitigated. We also, from Seabridge Gold, received the financial capacity to allow us to be able to do that. So much earlier on, the company recognized the importance of engagement, the importance of collaboration, and provided Tahltan the tools to allow us to be able to do that. Some of the work that we did there was really outside of what was conventional processes that were well understood by both industry and nations, including the one-on-one discussions that the technical departments were able to have. In 2019, we signed a cooperation and benefits agreement with Seabridge on the KSM project. Another really important aspect of our relationship is the transparency and the sharing of information between the company, Seabridge, and the Tahltan Nation. So when there was the acquisition of SnipGold, the president of Seabridge informed the president of the central government about this acquisition as soon as it could be done. It was important for the Tahltan Nation to know that Seabridge was committed to reclaiming the property, the Johnny Mountain mine, and Seabridge made this commitment much earlier on. But they also worked closely with us in understanding what our interests were and values that needed to be incorporated into the reclamation activities. There were a number of agreements that were also signed that supported our communications, but also provided opportunities for companies like the Tahltan Nation Development Corporation to be fully involved and fully engaged in the reclamation activities. Even our president, Chad Day, is in full support of the relationship and the work that's been happening at this site. He is very pleased with the collaboration that has been taking place, as well as the opportunities provided to Tahltan businesses and Tahltan people. Other activities that have taken place, specifically related to the reclamation, is the development of the project execution plan for the Johnny Mountain mine. So the Tahltan have reviewed and provided input to the plan in early draft stages of the plan's development. We have also received and provided input into draft regulatory applications, as well as participated in regulatory permit reviews and update meetings with provincial agencies. We're currently working through an ecological risk assessment to support and inform mine reclamation and closure efforts.
So now we're going to go into some of the challenges and successes that we've seen so far at Johnny Mountain. When Seabridge acquired the project in 2016, both Seabridge and the Tahltan Nation understood the importance of gathering environmental data to understand what the current conditions were to inform future reclamation goals and targets. So firstly, we collected environmental data to understand the current groundwater, surface water, and soil conditions. This included having to bring a drill up to the Johnny Mountain mine site and drilling over 52 groundwater wells. This work was done in collaboration with Taltech Geotech, a Tahltan joint venture company. In addition, 53 test pits were excavated around the project site to understand soil conditions, and this was done with the help of the Tahltan Nation Development Corporation. Finally, we conducted a comprehensive aquatic characterization study to understand site conditions during reclamation that could be measured over time. And this included parameters such as surface water quality, aquatic life, fish, and hydrology, both right in and around the mine site, as well as further afield. The tailings management facility included some comprehensive work as well. Firstly, we brought up a drill rig and installed 5 vibrating wire piezometers. The safety of the tailings impoundment was paramount to both Seabridge and to the Tahltan Nation. So these groundwater wells were installed to monitor pore pressure within the tailings dam embankments. This was done under the supervision of our engineers of record, Clone Krippenberger. We also conducted some cosmetic corrections to the tailings impoundment that have occurred over time from wear and tear and erosion of the water cover. Removal of old equipment from the dam crest was also conducted. Some of the work that we did at the landfill, as you can see in the pictures on the slide, in the top was a picture of the landfill when it was first acquired in 2016. So one of the first tasks was to go to the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change Strategy to apply for a new permit to bring the landfill up to standard. In 2017, there was excavation and relocating of waste that started. During the test pitting program up at Johnny Mountain, a number of unidentified or previously unknown landfill sites were identified around the project site, and those inert materials were also placed within this new landfill. All of this work was conducted by Seabridge and SnipGold, as well as TNDC employees. The mill building was a large piece of infrastructure left on the project site and required quite a lot of work. First and foremost, all of the asbestos tiles, mercury vapor light bulbs, batteries, and unknown liquids were transported off-site for disposal. Tanks, conveyors, pumps, wood timbers, etc. were all cleaned out of the mill building, and all of the inert waste was placed into the approved landfill. The mill building shell that is now left on the project site is currently being used for storage, but has been substantially cleaned out. And all of this work was done by TNDC employees, as well as Taltech Allnorth, a Tahltan joint venture company. The tank farm demolition on site, as I mentioned previously, was about 28 tanks ranging from 7,000 to 100,000 gallons. This work required the tanks to be emptied, cleaned out, and all done in a safe manner. We hired Progressive Ventures and the Tahltan Nation Development Corporation to conduct this work for us cooperatively. And as you can see from the pictures in the top 2, those were the progression of the demolition work of the large tank, as well as the smaller tanks along the bottom. As a result of the tank farm that was on site, we discovered that there were some in situ hydrocarbon remediation issues that needed to be resolved and right away. So approximately 3,000 cubic meters of contaminated soils were treated by mechanically mixing in a biocatalyst or oil gator to treat those soils and break down the hydrocarbons that were in those soils. In 2019, additional hydrocarbon remediation was conducted with approximately 6,000 cubic meters that was treated with oil gator in site. There were 3 portals and 5 vent raises left on the project site when it was acquired in 2016, with the support of the Tahltan Nation Development Corporation, as well as Golder Associates. All of the vent raises were decommissioned and permanently closed. You can see the progression of photos here in front of you. The top is showing a beforehand. As you can see, some of those adits were unsecured and were large safety issues on the project site. So with the help of TNDC and Golder, we used polyurethane foam, which you can see in the picture on the top left-hand side, or sorry, bottom left-hand side, which is during, and on the right-hand side, what it looked like afterwards when it was covered with native soils, contoured and planted with native vegetation.
An important aspect of the work that we've been doing together includes the reporting and the findings that have taken place while we continue to undertake reclamation activity. The data that is compiled from the various reclamation programs is summarized into the annual reclamation report. This information is then provided to Ministry of Energy and Mines and Petroleum Resources, but also to the Tahltan Nation through the Tahltan Heritage Resources Environmental Assessment Team. Communications is a key component of the work that we do, and the company and the nation continue to work on a regular basis to ensure that not only are our leadership working together, our technical teams working together, but there is regular communication with the nation as well through community meetings, through in-person discussions, and through various print media, various newsletters that are provided to the Tahltan Nation, either through the company or through the Tahltan central government. The technical team, Tahltan Heritage Resources Environmental Assessment Team, and TNDC play an important role in pre-planning upcoming field programs for the site. So thank you so much for allowing us to share, our journey with you today. We would like to provide you some final thoughts on the work that's been done to date between Seabridge and the Tahltan Nation. I think in all you can see that our work and our relationship has been successfully developed over the years to ensure that we are working together in a collaborative fashion on not only the reclamation program for the Johnny Mountain Mine, but also for other activities that Seabridge holds within the Tahltan territory. The commitment that Seabridge has made to ensure that the Tahltan Nation are involved includes looking at every aspect of the reclamation work and ensuring that Tahltan employees or contractors who have the background and the experience are providing a wealth of reclamation knowledge. And this knowledge through the Tahltan central government, through TNDC, through THREAT and other employees has been an important part of the reclamation activity, as well as the protection of Tahltan territory for generations to come. So Seabridge's commitment to supporting the local Tahltan communities through investment, training, and solid working partnerships for the reclamation at Johnny Mountain Mine, has been very successful to date, both for the company as well as for the nation, because it's allowed for, the continued development the continued development of capacity and opportunities within the nation, but it's also allowed the nation to provide insight and direction as to how they would like to see specific values of the Tahltan Nation protected and conserved for future generations. An important point to note is that the majority of the investments for the reclamation of the Johnny Mountain Mine were paid to BC contractors, Tahltan employees, and businesses affiliated with TNDC. We'd like to conclude or close with, a quote, "A successful partnership built on foundation agreements and built over time has created a successful reclamation project for the Johnny Mountain Mine, a long-term relationship and responsible reclamation example for the mining community." Thank you for your time.
So thank you so much for allowing us to share our journey with you today on the reclamation of the Johnny Mountain Mine.
Please visit our website for additional information.